are y'all today? Today I am going to do a whole different type of video. No unboxing, no haul, nothing like that. Pardon my hair. I just washed it. I'm going to talk about my little, well, I guess it's kind of been like a year long, so it might not be that little, but journey for my teeth. I am only 31. I'll be 32 in August. And I know that's kind of young for someone to have a full set of dentures. But for me, yeah. No, it was not drug related for me to need them. Basically, my mom's side of the family, a lot of them have like a bone disease thing in their mouth, which causes bad teeth. And it didn't matter how much I brushed or anything like that, they were just not gonna last. Last summer, since it's already this summer, I went in just for a consultation. All I was planning on doing was talking about my options, because I knew what I wanted. I honestly knew I wanted to go ahead and do a full set, even though there was a possibility of doing a partial on the bottom. I didn't even want to worry with doing that, because I was just like, they're going already, so I might as well just go ahead and do the full mouth, which was a little extreme, but not really. And I went for the consultation. I did not really think I was going to like this dentist. The only reason I went to this one is because my husband went to him, and he kind of told him about me, and they said, yeah, tell her to come and we'll do a consultation and everything. And they had his dental insurance on file, so all I had to worry about was bringing my dental insurance, because I'm on both plans, because we knew that we were going to work on my teeth. So that's why I'm on both plans, and he's only on his own because his teeth are so much better than mine. It feels a little weird having both top and bottom, because I just got my bottom teeth last month. And you might notice that it seems like my bottom teeth are like not straight, and that's because my bottom jaw kind of shifted a little bit from not having teeth, so it kind of relaxed and moved a little bit. So that's one thing I've been working on, is like trying to make sure when I bite or smile or something that that they kind of look lined up. And it was really, really cool when I went that day. I'm just like, okay, we're going to talk about it, we're going to do x-rays, we're going to figure out what the options are. Honestly, that's all I figured we would do. And stupid phone. And I went back there, and of course they went ahead and did my x-rays, and then my dentist came back, and I was like, okay, we're going to start talking. And he's like, I definitely believe we can give you what you want. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to do the whole mouth, or are you thinking maybe doing something different? And he's like, well, do you want to do the whole mouth, or do you want to do like just the top and then do like a partial? I'm like, I really don't want a partial, because I've heard stories that when people get partials, they wind up having to get a full set, especially in my family. And he was like, okay, well, we'll plan on doing a full set top and bottom. I was like, this is perfect. No one's trying to convince me to do this or this. They listened to what I wanted and was willing to do what I wanted. Which, of course, when they saw my mouth and the x-rays, that was basically the only choices. Do a partial on the bottom or do a full. And given the state of my bottoms, we would have to do a lot more work to do a partial. So it is just so relaxing for me to have it all done and over with now. But it was not really, I don't want to say it was hard or difficult, painfully or anything like that. It was more emotional because let me just put this on vibrate. Because we winded up that day pulling my whole top. We took all my top teeth that same day. And for me not to have to spend out of pocket, I didn't get my top teeth that day. So I went around with only bottom teeth for a while. And nobody at work or anything noticed. But I was so used to talking and keeping like where my front teeth would not show, because I basically had like one front tooth, which would be here, and parts of teeth the rest of the way. And people are like, oh, if you don't have teeth, it's difficult to eat. It was difficult to eat with the teeth I had, because of the fact of how damaged and decayed they were. It was bad enough that people could like smell my breath, so I'm over here like always trying to like keep my mouth covered and not get up close to them, which is kind of hard. Working with the elderly, you kind of got to get a little bit closer to them so they can hear you. And I was always paranoid that they could smell my breath. So I did chew a lot of gum and have a lot of mints, but that really don't help much. And a lot of the medication, I'm not really on half of those anymore. Pardon me. But they caused a lot of dry mouth, which did not help my teeth at all. And so when he went to pull my top teeth, oh my goodness, I thought it was going to be really, really bad. Because scared of dentists and everything. They put the little gas thing on my nose. And of course they put shots in and everything. And they'd use that I can't even think of it, to numb my mouth first before they did the shots. And honestly, I didn't really feel him pulling any teeth except for that one top tooth. But of course, all that was there on that top tooth, because this tooth over here in the front, it was just like the meaty stuff under the enamel. Well, all that was there on that tooth that actually looked like a tooth was the enamel. Everything inside was gone. So when he went to get that one, it broke. Which every one of them, he couldn't just like pull them out. He had to go in there and kind of like dig. And I know that sounds really, really scary. But honestly, I did not feel that at all. It was so wonderful. And I was dealing with a lot of sinus infections at that time. like, I could literally smell, like, if I had a sinus infection, or I could smell, like, my teeth in the back and stuff. So after he pulled those top ones, uh, my sinuses got a lot better, and I did not smell or taste my any sinuses infections or like my teeth or anything. So I was like so happy. I might not have had teeth. I might have been eating yogurt and stuff for a while, but I was like, oh my god, I do not have that anymore. And the only thing I really felt when he pulled that top tooth was more pressure than actual pain. Because the rest of them, I don't really know how hard it was for him to get them. I just know that one tooth was kind of a pain in the butt. And when he got it out, and of course they had to put stitches in, but that one tooth, I felt like all that pressure and like it made my eyes water. But that was just like the pressure because of that tooth. I did have some swelling on the outside, but of course I don't really know how many teeth or pieces of teeth I had there, because a lot of them were broke off to the gum line. So that's why he actually had to like go in there and kind of dig. But like, I had that done, and I believe I was off work the next day, and then I went to work. So I was like working right afterwards. It didn't keep me down or anything. I took my medication, no problem. And I was just like, finally this journey is beginning. I really didn't think that it was going to bother me not having teeth for a while. Or I was like, I'm just going to get them. Everything's going to be the same. Nothing's going to change with me as a person. My attitude will be fine. Everything will be normal. But like I said, nobody I worked with really realized, because the way I talked. And I had one little lady realize, I don't know how she realized I didn't have them, but she realized. And it didn't really bother me, except for when she would tell people. And I was like, quit telling people. I'm like, shoot. You know, nobody realized I didn't have them until you, and you're telling everybody. Please stop. And she did. She only told a certain few, and they were nice, and they were understanding that I really didn't want everybody to know. And I wish I really had the pictures that I took, like, before they pulled my top, and some of them during, because it looked really weird. But while we was waiting on my top to heal some more, of course I had to go get my stitches out. And I want to say it was this side. You couldn't see the bone or like the cavity or anything, because that part healed. But there was like a channel or a valley where it hasn't like completely closed. And we were in, I want to say St. Louis or somewhere up there with some friends. And, well, Gary knew them better than me. Like, I might have met one or two of them before, but couldn't really recall until, like, I see their face. But now, like, I recognize them by name and everything, so it's all good. And we went out to eat. And, of course, all I had are my bottom teeth. We did not pull those yet. And, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to eat this pasta thing, because it's easy to eat with just bottom teeth. I'm not going to eat something, you know, because I really wasn't comfortable eating a lot of food in front of people. because I was still trying to figure out how to eat certain foods. Pardon me. And the pasta had some fennel seeds in it, which, don't get me wrong, they're yummy. I love fennel seeds, but they were getting like caught in that little channel I had. So I'm over here like drinking my drink, trying to wash it out and using my tongue, and it really started aggravating it. And I didn't even get to eat half of that pasta when I'm like, okay, I can't do any more. And they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh, it's just, you know, tried to make up some excuse why I wasn't going to eat it. And they're like, well, we can have them take it back and get you something else. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm full. I was still a little hungry, but I was like, I'm not going to make a big deal because I don't want everybody to know what's going on. Well, Gary opened his mouth, and he's like, she don't have any top teeth, so it's kind of difficult, and some of the stuff's getting stuck in, he explained kind of about the little channel or valley that I had, and it embarrassed me. I didn't think it would bother me, but it did. Like, I had my fork, and I was, like, ready to stab him for opening his mouth. And everybody's like, oh, we know a couple of people that had some dental issues, you know. So, that's no big deal. I was like, okay, cool. They're understanding. They're not going to make fun of me. They're not going to judge me. Because my biggest thing was, I don't want people to be like, oh my God, she must have been like a crackhead or something, or a meth addict or something, you know, one of those that, you know, their teeth got ruined because of that, because that's what most people think when they see someone my age with bad teeth, and I'm like, ugh. So, they were very understanding and great, and one person actually came up to me that weekend, and she was telling me that she has a partial and she actually took it out. She's like, no need to be embarrassed. Everybody has something. And I was like, oh my God, I just like, I'm so appreciated that, you know, you're willing to tell me your story, because she understood why I was kind of like embarrassed, because I didn't know everybody when Gary did it. Like, a lot of our close friends and family, they knew, so they didn't bother me. If I said I had a problem eating, they were like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, what I want and what I can't eat is different. But it was different with them because they knew what was going on. And there was a couple of people I knew that literally just went through it right before me. So they're like, no, don't even think about eating that. Let's eat this. And I'm like, ugh. So, I did have a lot of support from everybody that knew and the people that found out. Now my sister, and I'm sorry that, like, my list is, like, so much worse, and, like, I whistle when I say certain words because I'm not used to the full set, you know. So please, please, please bear with me, because I know it's kind of annoying for me to talk and say certain words and it comes out whistling. So, like I said, this is a progress that I'm still working on. But I am very excited for this journey, and I'm very happy to be able to explain to y'all about it. My sister could not understand why, even if it was going to cost me out of pocket to get my top teeth right away. And I was like, look, I'm broke. I'm like, I can't afford to do it like that. Even with my insurance, I couldn't. I'm like, and it's just for like a short period of time, you know, let it heal up some, then we'll work on it. And she was like, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it for any reason. I'm like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And it didn't bother me. It kind of really annoyed me when she said that, because I was like, look, uh, you and me are like two different people altogether in every aspect. I love her. Uh, I respect her, but I don't respect everything. And that comment to me was like just rude and shady. But she was like, well, you know, Mom had to have her teeth right away. I'm like, that was Mama. I'm like, it's all good. And when I finally did get my top teeth, I was like very, very excited. I ended up showing my resident, and she was very, very happy for me. And a lot of people at work, when they realized it really didn't click to them, but they're like, something's different, you know, because whenever I smiled, I always smiled with my mouth closed, and you could never see any of my teeth. It took me like 3 weeks of practicing to learn how to smile with some teeth, and I'm still like, since I got my bottom, now it's like, how do you smile and show your bottom? But I'm like, screw it. So, the day that we put in my top teeth, they're like smiling. I'm over here. They're like, no, really smile and show your teeth. I'm like, it was like so weird. I was like, I don't know how to smile. And they're like, just get in front of the mirror and practice. And I had a couple of problems with them that had to get fixed. And all I had to do was go up there because they rubbed in certain spots. But that's normal. And never had a problem. Every time I go there, I have not had a negative experience with my dentist. He is like the most awesomest guy in the whole world. And his whole clinic, I love them to death. I have recommended a lot of people to him. That's how much I love this guy. I didn't think it would be life-changing, like I said. But just, even though I still had my bottom teeth at that time, just getting my top ones, I'm over here like, oh my god, look at this, look at this. And I was like, calling people, and I'm like, we're gonna go do something. I can do this now. And, yeah, heads up, just because you got them the first day, don't mean go out and try and eat anything and everything under the sun. How you learn to eat without the top teeth is now different since you've got teeth. You're over here, okay, this is weird. How do I do this? But I was like really excited because I was able to eat my pickles again. But at that time I had my top and bottom. Not these, but my real bottoms, because all I had like was that much of my bottoms, I think, originally, if that. So, we did a couple of things, and I was eating up my pickles. My husband hates them. I didn't care. I was like, I'm eating pickles now, and it was all good. Everybody was happy for me. I was happy, and I was not ready yet to do my bottom, so I waited a little bit. Learned how to eat with my top. And then I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and work on the bottom. So I want to say it was probably maybe October, November, somewhere around there, when we actually went in to pull my bottom teeth. And yes, that was last year. I just got my bottom teeth last month in June. So you're looking at either October or November, no bottom teeth up until this summer. Which a lot of people are like, oh my god, that's a long time. But I honestly was able to eat pretty much what I wanted. There were still a couple of things I had trouble eating. But you find ways around it. No problem. And, when I went in, the way it was going to cost me nothing out of pocket with my dental insurance and my husband's was if we would have done my bottom in 2 separate trips. I'm not going to say that it's not painful to have teeth pulled. Everybody knows it is. But when you have stitches in basically half of your mouth or your whole mouth, because like my top, it was my whole mouth, you couldn't really eat things. And by the time it healed for you to eat things, if I would have done my bottom 2 separate times, I would have had to go right back to eating yogurt and soup and stuff right back. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Let's just get them all. Let's do them all in one day. I'm like, if we can't do it today, I can come back another day and we can do all of them. I'm not going to do it 2 separate visits. And they're like, well, it's going to cost you out of pocket. I'm like, I don't care. Here's the card. And I called Gary and I told him, hey, since I'm going to do it this way, I actually have to spend this much. He's like, okay, go for it. He was very supportive of the reason why. He did not blame me. He didn't hold it against me for, like, instead of it being nothing out of pocket, he was like, if that's all you're going to spend out of pocket, go for it. I don't care. I was like, alright, cool. I have no problem. So, we did the whole bottom. And I did not wear my top teeth for a couple of days, but I was only working, like, a short period of time. And actually, I think I was out of school for break, or I might have been in class, but I just really was, like, very to myself at that time. And, like, 2 or 3 days after they were pulled, I put my top teeth back in and started wearing them. But I was very cautious because I didn't want to hurt, you know, my bottoms with the stitches. Then the day that I went to get my stitches out, I didn't have my top teeth in that day. I put them in afterwards. It was very, very easy. Now, I did notice with my bottom healing, it healed a lot different than my top. Yes, I had bone spurs on the top that I had to go to him to get fixed. Some of them would work themselves out. Some of them didn't. I had one that didn't on this side and he had to fix it. Now, down here on the bottom, like I had bone spurs, but, you know, it healed up really good to me. And I already had my stitches out and I was pretty much healed. And I noticed a couple of spots were like really, really sore. And I'm like, well, maybe it's a bone spur to work itself out. Well, they never like came out or broke the skin or anything. So I went to the dentist and we did x-rays. And he did see them. And like, I think it was this side that was bothering me. But he noticed there was some on this side, and he said once I did get my bottom plate, that would really, really cause a problem. So he went ahead and did it. Well, with my gums already being healed, he had to basically open my gums up again to get this out. And they had to put some stitches in. Not really a big problem. It didn't affect me too bad. It was sore, but I was like, it's going to help me in the long run, and that part's not going to hurt. So, basically, I think they called it a ridge realignment. So, we did that, and this whole time I did not get my top plate realigned. And so, by the summer that we're in now, in May, I was like, I need to get them realigned. I really need to because how loose they were. Even though I glue them in, now I don't have to glue them in, but I do so I can eat. Okay. My camera wanted to do something weird. So where was I? Yeah, I went ahead and did the trip because my in-laws came in May. Well, the last week of May, and they were here most of last month. So I just went to actually get my tops realigned, and they asked me if I was ready to go ahead and get my bottom plate. I was like, well, sure, let's go ahead and do it. Because I knew it wouldn't be until the summer anyways, but I thought it was going to be July, not June when we did it. And so we realigned my top, and we worked on getting me fitted for my bottoms. And I'm really very excited that I did everything. When it came for like the fitting and the try on with my tops, we didn't really have any problems. My bottom, oh my gosh, with how much y'all shifted and everything, it threw my bite off. Like, if I'm not paying attention, these teeth are over here. So, like, they're more over here, and I literally have to be like, okay, let me bring my bottom jaw over to kind of like see if I'm lining them up. And normally I'm doing it in front of a mirror, so I don't know how it looks to y'all right now. But since that's been like an issue, it took us a couple of times to get them right because of how my jaw did. So we finally got them, and my dentist, he was like, okay, here comes the true part, how you had to learn with your top. Now you gotta learn how to do with your top and bottom. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Literally, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? And it has been a roller coaster. I'm still not like 100% comfortable with everything that needs to be done and talking and everything. I was at work and I was trying to eat, and when you first get them, you don't know how much glue to put. You either put too much or not enough, and me always start off not putting a lot, so my bottom teeth are out. I'm like, great. I can pull off when my top teeth come unglued because I got them realigned. But the bottoms, they just sit there. They don't like suction like the top ones. So I'm over here, yeah, thank you. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I'll be right back. So I went to the bathroom and I took them out and I put them up. And they're like, what was wrong? I'm like, well, I just got my bottoms and I'm not sure, you know, since I just got them, I got to deal with all this. They're like, people don't even notice if I have my bottoms in or not, depending on how I talk. Because they're so used to seeing me without seeing teeth, even though they don't know if I have them or not, that it doesn't bother them. It don't disgust anybody. My kids are a whole different situation. They didn't realize that I went ahead and I did teeth and all this. And one day I was there and my teeth came unglued. And I was like, So I just went to the bathroom because, you know, I really didn't want my kids to freak out. And then I was winding up talking to their mama, and she's like, oh my God, when did you get your teeth? And I'm like, oh, I've had them for a while, blah, blah, blah. And this is before I had my bottoms. And I don't know exactly what was said. And I'm like, yeah, they're loose. And I'm like, I didn't actually pull them. I just, like, moved my tongue and loosened them and, like, just, like, kind of stuck them out. my kids flipped. They were like, no, not having it. Stay away from me, Mom. You're not coming near me. And I was like, crap. Well, this past weekend, I was talking to the kids, and they were like acting a fool. And I didn't have them glued in because I got off work and I was taking a nap, and I was late waking up from my nap, so I was running late to get there, so I just popped them in. And with my top teeth, it didn't matter. I wasn't going to wear my bottom teeth because I was in that big of a hurry. And since they were misbehaving, I just like popped them out, and I was like just looking at them. They were like, I'm like, well then behave, and I won't do it. So now I kind of look at it kind of funny, and I look at the way I reacted over certain aspects of them. Like when he told people I didn't have them and all that stuff. And then the people that realize, okay, hey, you do got your top and bottom now. And they're looking, they're like, but they don't look really fake. Yeah, your teeth are lined up straight and everything, but that can happen with braces. But they're not like bright white. Why? I'm like, well, I didn't, like, yeah, everybody wants a perfect bright white smile. But I was like, I wanted them to look somewhat real. And since I drink caffeine, I knew they wouldn't be pearly white with me drinking Dr. Pepper, whether they were real or not. So I want like 2 shades different from like the really white. And sometimes they do look a little grayish, but it depends on the lighting and everything. But like sometimes when like I have them out, because I clean them and soak them overnight like you're supposed to. I'll be looking at them, I'm like, God, they look really white. And then I put them in my mouth and I'm like, okay, why are they not that white? But it's because of the lighting and, you know, the shadowing. But I am super happy with them. My dentist said if I have any problems, just go there. I know I'm going to have to get them realigned. And I'll probably have to do some other stuff depending on, pardon me, the way like I eat and stuff. If I realize, like if it feels like this side's more different than this side, pardon me again, we might have to do something. But I should be wearing my bottoms more. But at times it's like, I just need to get and go, and I'm used to not having them, so it's really not bothersome. But I have realized, since I've never had a bright, well, not really like a bright smile, but like a full teeth smile, after getting just my top teeth, my confidence went through the roof of my hair. Like, I was wanting to learn to smile with teeth so I could be like everybody else that smiled and showed teeth. I'm like, hey. But there's days that I don't want to wear my top teeth. And when I first got them, there were times that I literally forgot to put them in. And I'm at the store and I'm checking out and I'm like, oops, I don't have my teeth. Now it's like, I'm just going to get gas. I'm not putting teeth in just to go get gas. Because I'm like, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm actually regretting my choices. I don't think I am, because I really do like them. But sometimes I wonder if I should have got them where, like, they're more permanent, where, you know, you don't really take them out all the time. But then I'm like, I probably wouldn't be happy that way anyway. Just because I'm not used to having a mouth full of teeth. Because even before they pulled them, I didn't have this many teeth in my mouth. So it feels overcrowded. It feels weird. But I'm working on it. I know it's going to take a while. And I'm supposed to be working on talking with them and eating with them more. But depending on what I'm eating depends on if I want to wear them. Like, I like the bagels that have like sesame seeds, poppy seeds, sunflower seeds, like all of everything. I love those with some vegan butter on them. You know, toast it up, throw some vegan butter and eat it. Or I'll use the all-natural peanut butter with it. But sometimes those little seeds get up underneath. They don't really get underneath the top. It's more the bottoms that they have bothered me with. So I'm like, I want to eat my bagel. I don't want my teeth. Or I just don't want my bottom teeth. So, but my dentist office has told me it was going to be a long time before I'm like happy. Because I got to learn to talk with them. I got to learn to eat with them. You know, it's kind of like a whole new learning experience because I had to learn how to eat when I had the teeth I had. And then I had to learn how to eat with no top teeth. Then I had to learn to eat with, I got top but not bottom. And now it's like I got top and bottom, but I got teeth in places I never had before. So it's like, how do I do this? Because do I eat on this side? Do I eat on this side? How do I do it? How do I bite? So, it's been very, very different and very difficult. Chewing gum, I haven't done it since I've had my bottoms, but I did learn how to do it when I just had my top without like the gum sticking to them. So that was a plus for me because I really do love my chewing gum. But like, I ate a sandwich the other day and I was going stir crazy because of the bread. And my husband just started laughing at me because I had like bread like all in my mouth. And he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I got bread stuck everywhere. And that's how it sounded. And he just started laughing. He's like, you'll learn. And I'm like, I know, but I'm at the point where I don't want to mess with it because I don't want to deal with it right now. But the most happiest thing that I have done is eating my pickles. Because like when I had the bottom teeth, even though I didn't have top teeth, I was able to eat pickles. I was able to. And then, you know, I had just the top and no bottoms. I could not eat a pickle. I had to get like sliced pickles. I was so like, ugh. Because I love my pickles. But now I'm up here, I'm like, yeah, I want a whole pickle. And it's just weird. People are like, why are you so excited about a pickle? I'm like, you don't understand. But, I know this video is like here, there, and everywhere because I cannot like focus on just one part of the whole journey. But hopefully this might help somebody else, especially if you're younger, having to go through this journey. It is not really bad. The outcome is so much better. Even if you say certain words and you whistle or whatever. It's just going to take time and practice, and I am just so grateful I was able to do it, and I have an amazing dental team. My dental team is in North Little Rock, and if anybody's in like the Little Rock or North Little Rock and want their information, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Just message me or leave a comment and I will tell you, because honestly, I trust them with more than just my smile. I would trust them with my life. It's not like a whole, the environment with my dentist office is laid back and comfortable and honest. I could go in there and tell them, okay, look, these bottom teeth are freaking killing me, and we would work on it. And I can be like, okay, it hurts here, and I might expect them to do something to this side, but it actually could be this side that's causing this problem. And they explain things, they work with you. During the time I was working on getting my bottom teeth, I also had other doctor's appointments and my work schedule. So I was like, I can't come in at this time. What about this time? And they're like, well, we're going to be closed at that time. Is there a way you can come in at this time? I'm like, I can do my best. If I'm not going to make it, go ahead, close up, and I'll call y'all such and such time and date. And they're like, okay. But luckily, I always made it before any problems. And they were very helpful, and they are so happy and excited to help you through this journey. Any questions or problems, they will answer. Oh my gosh, they're wonderful. I just love that whole dentist office to death. Like I said earlier, I've recommended lots of people to them, and I wouldn't recommend anybody if I did not trust and love these people to death. The atmosphere and how they are is just amazing. For me, I'm like, I hate dentists, but I look forward to going there, not just because of my results, but because I know if I'm like not feeling it, they're going to be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay, you're still not comfortable. Do you want to reschedule? Do you need to talk about it more? They were amazing. They made sure you knew what was going on, and they try and help you with the financial situation, because they know people don't have, well, some of us people like me, we don't have money to drop like crazy on a full set of dentures. So they will work with you, and they work with your insurance, and they're like, look, this is how we can do this to make it less out of your pocket to help you. If you're willing to take, it might take you a couple of months to get your teeth, but it's going to help you more financially. It's going to be easier. And to me, that's one of the other reasons why I love them. Besides, when you go in there now, when I go in there now, it's not like just going in and you're not just a patient. You actually talk to them. You're like, so how's your weekend? How's this? And I went in and I was wearing one set of scrubs. And they're like, ooh, I love that material. And I was like, yeah, I just got it at Walmart, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, now my favorite ones are in this material, but they're this color. And I wound up wearing those one day. Didn't even actually pay attention. And they're all like, ooh, I love that color. Even the dentist is like, I like this. Those are nice. I'm like, thanks. I really like these too. And it was it's a coral one that I have. And I was like, oh yeah, I like colorful scrubs and stuff. So they're used to that kind of atmosphere from me, and they know that I'll be like, look, I don't like this problem's this. They were just heaven sent. I wish I could like just show them how much I appreciate everything that they've done. They are amazing. I love Inman Dental Clinic. it's not like I was walking into a doctor's office or to a dentist office. It's like I'm walking into my safe place. I don't feel like anything's going to go wrong. I feel comfortable. It's just perfect. But, alright. I probably rambled on way too long about just getting my teeth and everything. If I can find the pictures that I took, which I think, since I've replaced my phone and all that stuff, I think I lost them, but I'm not 100% sure. So, if I find them, I'll add them. But if not, I hope everyone has a great and wonderful week and day. And if anything y'all need to want or talk about, just hit me up. I'll see y'all later. Bye.